Hello and welcome to the second episode of Tech Talk. I'm your host Nitin Abbey. Consumers today expect a highly personalized and seamless experience, which is an increasing necessity in industries such as retail, transportation, hospitality, consumer goods, you name it. Let's discuss with Spandan Mahapatra, STL Digital's CTO, how the next generation of consumer experience can be ushered in only by embracing customer obsession, integrating technologies at the core, and boldly reimagining experiences which can unlock value for all our stakeholders. Hi Spandan, let's get started with this. How are enterprises today engineering experience for their end customers?
We engineer experiences for enterprises and enable enterprises in turn to engineer experiences for their end consumers, end customers. Just to give you an example of the value chain so that you will appreciate this, for an airline company, for an energy and resources company, for a healthcare biomanufacturing company, what we do is we enable better experience in their finance function, in their supply chain function by deploying product engineering capabilities, by using platform companies like SAP, Microsoft, and so on to develop solutions on their platform to help build the next set of end user facing functions and capabilities for their consumers, which could be mobile apps, which could be better billing functions, which could be better customer service for better interaction with their end consumers to resolve disputes, to give better pricing visibility, to help energy resources companies manage their smart energy management, manage the resiliency of the electric grid, manage better billing and charging functions, and so on.
All right. How can a company ensure that they can provide a consistently high quality consumer experience throughout their entire value chain?
So if you follow this value wheel, what happens is today on the left corner here, the pies, and I'll cover these pies here. This is the pie to begin with, which is engagement. And what happens here is this pie is not very heavily customer centric, which is end user centric. This is the functions of an enterprise, and where what happens in this function is all the people that are there in enterprises to develop products, to develop solutions, services, manage finance, manage supply chain, manage analysis of different functions in supply chain, manage the entire marketing organization to do marketing research, marketing positioning, marketing content, and so on. They all reside and transact. And then there is an ecosystem view, which is your partners, which is actually a word is missing below employee. It should be partners. They interact with you like the software partners, Microsoft, Splunk, ServiceNow, AWS, Salesforce, so on. And then there are industry partners where there are industry companies which collect data, which provide better machine learning for industry content, and so on. They all combine together. And this particular function is to improve the day in the life of a particular person in the world of finance. For example, it could be the CFO, it could be the controller, it could be the financial analyst, it could be the accounts payable and accounts receivables organization, and so on and so forth in finance. In human capital management, it could be the person who is handling the function of managing payroll, compensation, workforce management, learning and development, competency, things like that, and so on and so forth in marketing and things like that.
And what do we mean by consumer grade experiences in these functions?
What do we mean by consumer grade experience for these functions? These functions have a dichotomy today in the market in terms of the way they consume mobile apps, consume portals, consume different services from companies like Instagram, Netflix, Meta, and so on to do their B2C functions in the day in the life. Whereas in the enterprise segment, they have different degrees of fidelity, different degrees of maturity, and different degrees of friction in the way they transact in the workplace. How can we improve that experience? By deploying latest technology, by deploying services along with platforms that STL Digital has developed, platforms that are existing in the marketplace on top of hyperscalers, which are the large cloud companies, AWS, Microsoft, Google, IBM, VMware, and enabling enterprises to continuously improve their capabilities to improve experience on a continuum, because experience is a continuum. What was good in terms of experience yesterday is already stale today. How do you continuously excite your internal stakeholders, your extended stakeholders, and move forward? Then you have, as you improve robustness, improve the currency of experience in all the people that matter to take the company forward, you have the market drivers, which is around the connected IoT, connected marketplace, connected things, also called as Internet of Things.
All right, and Spandan, what advancements are being made in the area of connected IoT, marketplace, and connected devices that are driving the need for improved robustness and currency of consumer experiences?
In this area, what's happening now is, because of the new electric grid capabilities, the EV network ecosystem, what's happening is the precursor was predictive maintenance. In the manufacturing world, in the biopharma world, in the process and the discrete world, a lot of the work in the energy resources world, a lot of the work today is happening through agents. And these agents are sitting on IoT devices in a connected place and are trying to self-heal, trying to self-order parts, this has been happening for a long time in the airlines industry, where specific airplanes were able to order their own parts based on actual telemetry on what the parts have seen in terms of wear and tear and where they are today. So machines need experience, which we don't understand intuitively. It's not intuitive. But if machines don't have a good experience, they in turn affect the overall experience value chain, and somebody suffers down the chain. How do you improve better data and insights and machine learning on top of a complete machine-driven network, which is a manifestation of digital twin? Every organization today, whether they have invested in it or not, have some form of the other of a digital twin manifestation. And it doesn't have to be only physical. There are virtual digital twins as well, which mimic marketing, HR, and finance function to understand how things can be improved, how decision making can be improved in real time. And that's an area that is very much focused on seeing how can we provide better data services, better machine learning capabilities, better automation capabilities on top of cloud majors to provide a richer experience.
Okay, so Spandan, how is expertise a market driver in delivering experience to the end customers?
Expertise. In order to drive this wheel forward, we need to improve employee experience. And employee experience manifests and is requiring prerequisites in terms of learning experience, in terms of how human experience management has been implemented for a company, HXM, continuously being evaluated. So heavily focused on working with the latest HCM partners, the HCM ISV marketplace, the software marketplace, to understand the capabilities that we can bring to bear for enterprises, for end customers, how to improve the employee experience.
How do you tap into the technology and domain capability and the promise of the metaverse beyond the hype?
What's really possible in a horizon planning manner helps you plan the horizon about how do you leverage the explosive capabilities around metaverse. How do you really plan your investments? How do you plan the capability and the currency that you develop in the metaverse, and reimagine the marketplace? Reimagine the content that you have, that people will consume in different form factors beyond mobile and web today into many more forms of consumption. And this is also powered by a lot of network innovation that historically STL has from 25 years of experience with dealing with networks, secure networks, trusted networks, in order to deliver the promise of what can happen with content and the possibilities of metaverse. And then the customer experience and the flow based on all the platform as a service components and intelligent automation. So herein STL is very focused on leveraging the PaaS services, platform as a services. The next wave of innovation in the cloud is to leverage platform as a service components on the cloud. The cloud has native services, and there are ISV marketplace players who have services on the cloud, and STL has other capabilities around networks, and is very much focused on developing new capabilities around PaaS on the cloud, which is a major enabler for experience. You do not develop differentiated experiences by just having cookie cutter formats of experience rendering that is available on the marketplace today. You do more on top of those platforms, which are contextual to your industry, contextual to your own customers, what they expect of your brand, and how do you really drive that in the market. So that's what's going to move the needle forward, which we call as flow of work. Work has to flow, workflow has to enable the flow of work. And that's where STL is very much focused on driving the value that can be engineered out of stitching capabilities of RPA software, machine learning software on top of the data that is ingested in the cloud for these enterprises, while recognizing privacy and security. And that's the trusted model that STL believes in experience. So experience with trust, experience with security, experience with value. And the value wheel is converged with the key ingredients of technology enablers, which is around the whole combination of cloud, data, and machine learning with cybersecurity.
All right, Spandan, thank you so much for those inputs, and thanks for having this chat with me. Thank you.